Everybody to the village council meeting. No. Roll call, please.
Fisher.
Yeah.
Rudd. Yes. Michael. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Yeah.
There.
Number. Yes. You know.
Now you gonna pledge allegiance? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States. We ask your guidance today to help us through this meeting for the village council, and that we pray for the safety of all our school children and everyone's safe. Amen. Next item will be 1.25 approval absence. Will student act, there's no absences. Next will be approval of set agenda. May I get a motion for that, please?
I will make a motion to approve with bills to be paid, the well, $30,398.70.
I got a first, can I get a second, please?
Second,
Got a first, second, any questions? Tony?
Notice in the raw minutes, make it public that dog park is no longer ball field. And I think that maybe the village wants to look into putting the one in the municipal park, if you are part of the council site. That's really two-thirds of the way anyway. Because there's something that the don't top list of the public is serving you. I was in on a cadre about talking to me, think something the village would be.
Any more questions? If not, we'll call please.
Medina.
Yeah.
Fisher.
Yeah.
Miller.
Yeah.
Stumple. Yeah. Tebow.
Yes.
Cook.
yes,
And Murray. Yes.
Next item will be approval of regular agenda. Can I get a motion on that, please?
Make a motion that they approve the regular agenda.
Got a first, can I get a second, please?
I'll second.
Got a first, second, any discussion? If not, roll call please.
yes,
Miller.
Yeah.
Ruddy. Yes. Fisher.
Yes.
Michael.
yes,
Medina.
Yes.
Tebow.
Yes.
Next item will be May.
Thank you, Mike. Welcome everyone here tonight. Taking away from your busy schedule, it seems like starting to feel the transition from the seasons going on here a bit. And supposedly this weekend we're supposed to get a little taste of the summer, but it might be our last days I'm here. And thank you for being here. Spoke before about the DPW position. We interviewed some candidates and the interviews went through, and I want to thank the interviewing team for assisting me here, and Judge Schnell was our top candidate for the office DPW office director position. Judge has a lot of experience when it comes to management and office coordination and such. Gary Boyle, Gary has served in the time that Debbie was here as kind of like the field manager and field director there. And with the council's permission, I'd like to award those positions to Judge Schnell and Gary Boyle.
At this time, I get a motion to accept Gary and Doug as DPW director and field director.
I'll make that motion.
Now, first, I guess second. Dan seconds. Any questions?
Yeah, I do. So Mr. Chanel, I'm familiar with him. Where is he? I mean, it's not that big of a deal. So I am township. Okay. Okay, you know, look for the township there, for
couple years of runs. Prior to that, I know he spent like 16 years down in Saginaw area on managing Grafton one. Sports manager and service manager there. He has one of the benefits with looking at Doug is that the software that we use here, the ESNA software, he uses that at Line Hawk. So normally that's a couple $1,000 that leaves training that he's implemented through that we won't have to do, you know, go. So he comes with some experience and he'll be able to serve.
I have no problem with it, I just didn't know who it was, thank you, Ron, and all the trust, but.
And Gary's been doing a wonderful.
Oh,
job,
yeah.
Demonstrating his leadership and sharing his knowledge and experience all through the field. So with a typical day, Gary will come in and he'll set the food down and go over assignments, who's taking what, and see if, for example, if Gary says, Mother Nature caught up to us and I'm way behind, mowing, all hands on deck, so they'll say who has what lawnmower we're at and stuff like this, but they really work as a team doing it. And so therefore it's not that change at all. And I think that style works best for the crew that we have.
I like to point out something about Gary, no one here even knows, but before he started working for the village, there was a crew from Lake City, but they were working on 2nd Street here by Dewey's, and we got a tremendous amount of rain, and they were in Lake City, and they wouldn't come back, and the chuck holes there was like 150 chuck holes. Gary and I were down filling those up with gravel on our own accord. He didn't even work for the village at that time. That's not the person he is. Yeah, he's also looking at things.
Any more discussion? On this, director. Okay, if not, can I get a roll call?
Right, yes.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Official?
Yes.
Cook,
Yes.
Hill,
Yes.
Miller.
Yeah.
Smith.
Thank you. Another member on our DPW crew, our youngest member, Andre Janice. Andre, in the last couple of years, you may recall, he has worked as a seasonal part-time employee. He was in high school. He has worked the summers basically, you know, in the soccer season or wherever it was he was in, started, he had stopped working for it. When he now is out of high school, and so he will be taking some trade classes up at Kirkland and some of them at Gaylord, and so he would like to have that work around our typical schedule. It's not one for any degree. He said, but you know, someday I want to know a little bit about water, I know a little bit about plumbing, and take some of those classes just to know a little background in there. Today was his first day in class again to obtain his CDL permit. And so what our goal is for Andre is to have it, learn the CDL license so he can follow and all this first winter. He would probably just ride along with Gary and kind of learn on in a little bit, because he hasn't been driving a car, you know, and then he wants to get through a winter, so with big truck or supervision. And the deal that we worked out with Andre is that the village would pay for him to obtain this CDL license, but he would have to stay with us for 3 years, you know, to balance that part of it, you know. So he's very happy to do that. He's just a really nice young man. So we're really excited for him to be part of the team full time and then running this CDL. So congratulations and thank you, Andre. We haven't had a lot of new construction in this town in a while. There hasn't been a lot of new houses going up left and right. Now that we are, and again, with a couple of new homes and the duplex and the different buildings being renovated and such, where policy says a water and sewer policy, in order for a house to hook up to the farm, which is we charge $1,000 for water and $1,000 for sewer. And it might sound like a lot. It is a lot of money, but if you were to put in your own well, you know, you're putting about $9 grand. If you don't put in your own something field, right now, about 8 or 9 grand.
Or that.
And so when you look at that. Our rates don't cover the cost, what it costs us to pay. We have a duplex one up in town that we're really excited about. And the gentleman's talking about maybe building three. But how we have to hook up that water line, we have to take a little bit of the road and our sewer line to there is 10 foot deep. So we have to get a special box to keep everything back, and when the sewer line will come out of the house, and then 45 down to 10 foot depth to get the gravity pull on that. But anyway, that whole project there, ain't no water and sewer, and remember, it's a duplex, so it has two this way and two this way. It's gonna cost us 10 grand. Well, according to our policy that was written in 1997, so we can charge 4 grand for 2 waters and sewers. So that's just an example of maybe we need to look at those rates a little more and then bring them up to date. There's we are hoping with Mr. Perriells, he's working hard about getting more duplexes and condos and things like that going in town, but that might be one of those policies that I would like to look at some numbers and share those with the next meeting. Just to give you a little more of maybe where those numbers should be. I'm not saying we gotta blow off the roof, but if someone is putting in something like that to have renters and such, it should cost us anything, you know, and so anyway. I have those numbers for you, and Debbie and I were working on this a little bit before she had left, and until I went back and we located where the sewer line is and the water line is and what we have to do, and we have to contract get a special person in here for the equipment that goes that deep. But also, you know, we got to repair the road and stuff like that, so it doesn't take much to, you gotta look eating and down for it. So I'll have those someone else example for next one.
Brad, where's the reception?
When you are on Main Street, as you're heading towards the fairgrounds, there's Higgins Street, that's a real short street. And there's a house right on the corner there, just past that house, there's gonna be 3 in a room right there. And then if you go back on Main Street where the church is located, across the road, there's gonna be another one in there. That's the plan, you know, plan on doing one at a time. This one here, he's doing on Anthony Spence. And what we're trying to do is the village has to apply for a grant to Misha. And if he gets that, now we will award that grant to the contractor, property owner there. And to reimburse, you know, he has to put the money up front, and this money will reimburse him afterwards. He'll still have money into it out of his own pocket, this is not that much. The grants that Jim Perriells has with Sharon, when he does the Springer Circuit called Whereabouts in Michigan, and they have $1.1 million there, each grant's $100,000. So there's gonna be 11 of them this 6 months, and maybe another 11 next 6 months. And so it's gonna be quite competitive. When you think about the last few years, Gaylord could use some more housing in their facility from the tornado, and every community could use some additional housing. So what we're hoping for is that they can pick up some of these, you know, and maybe help these contractors out to share and reduce the costs, you know, for them. So we'll hold our breath on that. I've talked to you about the EDA grant that I'm trying to pursue for the industrial park. It's gonna, the $3.5 million grant, it's gonna go towards water and sewer completion in the industrial park. Now, when I say water and sewer, it's not just the lines, it's the curb in there, it's the fire hydrants, it's all the necessities that you need, so it's a finished product after that. With this grant, if you remember, it's a 60-40 match. They put up 60, we put up 40, but there's some expenses that they don't cover, and so we're gonna put up probably 40-45%. So sounds like a lot, but again, if you're building a house and someone's gonna come and say, I'll pay for 50 to 60% of it, it sounds like a good deal, so we're pursuing that, but there's another grant, I don't want anyone getting their hopes up for, through Eagle, we just heard about it last week, and we're pursuing it, where, this grant you could use to pay off your match on that audit grant. So this grant here could potentially pay up to $1.4 million, and we would have to match, so we could get that industrial park done and very little money out of Mount Pop. So keep your fingers crossed, and I'll keep you posted on yeah, I'm sure it's gonna be very competitive, but there's some features that we have there that are unique to the area. We also have, I have a half a dozen letters from potential business people that either would like to open a business in the industrial park, but due to the water and sewer costs that they had to pay for that. But remember, there's also electrical, and there's also gas and most types of expenses. So I have letters stating that they wouldn't consider that if water and sewer were in there, but due to the infrastructure not being set, they had to back away from their goals. So family, I think that we might stand a pretty good chance of getting that, but we hope so. We just kind of working. Village flowers, you might notice some of the village flowers. Their season has come to an end, and so we're starting to clear off events, and all of them, the ones that are still looking good, when I keep them going. The ones that are done, we're taking 2 to 3 inches of soil out of all of them, adding manure, adding peat moss, adding topsoil, and drain, and then let them set off in the winter months. So we have about 16 of them done right now, and probably if we get some cold nights, we'll try to still knock out a few more every week. So the hanging baskets are still hanging in there. They will, but once the nights start getting cold, they will go fast. So and people are sort of hanging on with that. You may have noticed a former from our own day in the former Frank gas station.
Yeah.
Hasn't been taken down. And the plans for that property there is certainly Jesse that owns Ken Tires. He says, if you ever notice my parking in front is just all over the place. And he said people back into lights and back into different things. So he wanted to take that out and just put in a gravel parking lot, and just work on his own parking. There's no chance of building it this. The street lights, lo and behold, called Blanchard Electric out of Holt Lake, middle area. They have contacted me. We've had a couple of meetings on our decorative street lights. They have been working on them since Friday, I want to say. They're making corrections. Some of this, a lot of them, they're not on because of the little eye sensor they have. And it's not a problem to replace the eye sensor, but when they're way up the electrical pole, now it's a problem. And so I've asked if they could lower those to a height that it would be easier to get, and so they're working on some of that. They're also in front of the craft center. They're going to make sure all of those decorative light poles have flips. So first one in the village coming in, you want to decorate those crabapple trees in your front. They can have that all set to go. So anyway, he's working hard on that. They've also replaced, we had 2 decorative lamps that have broken last year. Cars hit them, different things, and so those replaced. And again, he has about 4 pages on business that he's checking for. So hopefully we can, start seeing more pretty soon. Let's see what else. I mean, it's just been, very busy. There's not as much content in my report tonight because a lot of the things that I know were on the agenda. So I'll save that for later. So I got
Any questions for Ron?
I was want to say, I'm real glad that this is back on the street when it's finally. Getting darker earlier now.
it is.
Yeah, we just did a whole stretch, run went up down there.
I think that's very, very late, during the morning when I'm trying to follow by.
That's what we're starting on.
And just for example, on that, on those 5 that were out from S. In that stretch there, that sensor was never up. On a pole. There's a box in the ground. That no one know about, but they found and it's will be found, there's no numbers there, we're all with that. Well, you know, so anyway, step by step, we're getting.
You're making a map of all these, right? You know,
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Okay, is there any more questions for Ron? Now we'll move on to public announcement on agenda and. Anyway. Okay. If not, we'll move on to the next, will be unfinished business, DPW report, Mr. Allen.
Okay, this may be the first and the last time I have to give this report, but anyway, sat down with the team this week and trying to go over some of the things they've been working on. Our lagoon, there's 5 ponds back there. And they have the control of the weeds in there, or the aerator and everything, the wood, so they're going to go. And they've been applying the treatment, weed control treatment to it. They've already started to see some type of progress made, but it's something that will take a long period of time, and we'll have to reapply it next year too. And so they started working on that. They're also working along the wetlands, and they do a really nice job keeping it mowed and trimmed up, so it's not, doesn't just look like a wild field. So it needs to be in there, they can, so we're working on that. You may have noticed that the Farmers Memorial banners are out. Jerry is out the last week and put up Farmers Memorial banners for the big weekend, the 3rd weekend of September. I can't say enough about the DPW crew for Labor Day weekend. They really went beyond their means as far as making sure the village looked good. Things were ready, you know, the center picked up, but they just trimmed and everything is mowed and groomed, and so I really appreciate the extra time that this team has. Jerry is still working on trimming up trees along the sidewalks and cutting everything from 7 foot down or so, running the height of multi-hog list for winter time, so he's doing that trimming this week and next week. Our sewer system, there's certain areas that don't get as much activity as others. So as I've been measured, they'll go through and you have this large tank and they'll a lot of water on there just to kind of keep things clean and moving that this work line. The Division Street pump had some issues. They addressed that, fixed that, and again, they need the guys that were doing a lot of preventive maintenance to make sure that the system stays up and running so we can move this job. So there.
Any questions on the DPW report? If not, we'll move on to economic director report, Mr. Perry.
See the back of my head.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good evening.
Let's see, I can't remember if you want that.
What is my name?
You're okay.
Etching name shown.
Yeah, long list, I've got to wade through here, but they'll be quick. The DDA pavilion mentioned that, at last month's meeting, we'll start construction on that. Right after Oktoberfest is finished, which is that first Saturday in October. Tichenor Builders, local company, was, the one chosen, won the bid on that, and so, there is gonna be a 40 by 80 pavilion, help us with all of our plans on festivals and the farmers market and so on and so forth. It's really neat design. We had it out here at one time on, I don't know what happened. Master plan is done. We got all the boxes checked with the exception of approval of the village council. I'm not gonna drop this 100-page document on you today and expect you to vote on it today. We already have, I'm gonna email it to everybody individually or electronic copy, it's about 100 pages. Please read every last page. Do what you can, looking at it as best you can, please. There's been a lot of I's and a lot of committees, dotting I's and crossing T's and making sure additions are put in to adapt the plans of this village seriously for the next 5 years. This process in many townships and municipal governments is let's look at it, we've got to renew this, let's not change anything, and then resubmit the exact same thing to the state. I'm very proud that our planning commission went through that document very thoroughly, looked for things that needed to be fixed, adjusted, and so forth. A good number of you have reviewed that document as well. And so I'll be emailing that to you, and we'll be looking to vote to approve that. Next month's meeting, the time frame is 63 days of public perusal. We'll have to put it on the website after you folks approve it, and at that point it'll be official. Once without objection from the public, our master plan will be ready to go. Our deadline was 2025, and we'll make that happen. Oktoberfest plans are in full swing. Dan Scow's been working on that. A new event they've got going this year. You may have seen signs for Kidtoberfest, a little offshoot of the Rocktoberfest. There was an issue with, we had all the kids in the bounce houses, but the kids in the beer tent were also commingled as well. So this is a little attempt to kind of separate the younger crowd versus the older crowd in areas and during that day. I really like the focus of what our businesses are doing here in town and making our town a very kid-friendly place. We've got a train museum, we've got a zoo a few miles out of town. We now, the butcher's wife is really upping her candy game, if you haven't already noticed that. And and of course, I'll report a little bit later on the Chase Bank and some of the businesses that might be going. The Kidtoberfest, the Chamber of Commerce did a great job doing the block party next month. Anybody get a chance to see pictures of the block party? What a success, and kudos to the chamber and the business leaders for pulling off that. And I hope that becomes a yearly event, with kids playing with fire hydrants and so forth, getting away from their video games and so forth at home. So Shamrock Drop, second annual plans I mentioned last month are underway for that. You're going to start to see some promotional materials coming out, some posters and possibly radio ads and so forth on the Shamrock Drop. So let's turn to the Rite Aid. Most of you know that the Rite Aid building is running a big clearance, Rite Aid Corporation. So what that building is not owned by Rite Aid Corporation, it's owned by a brother and sister downstate. And I've been discussing with them what their options are with regards to selling / leasing to somebody else.
And so we're working with them. Currently, there's no tenant, and Rite Aid plans to leave after October 1st. So we'll have a big 10,000 square foot empty building. If you have any ideas or know anybody interested, I can put you in contact with the owners at the appropriate time. Let's see here. Okay, so now something that did not make your agenda, because we just found out Friday. Actually, we found out Thursday night and was made public Friday. Ron was talking about a lot of these grant opportunities that we have. And for giggles, I applied for a CDM MEDC Michigan Economic Development Corporation Fellowship. And a fellowship is, of course, a temporary job. This scholarship, fellowship, grant, whatever you want to call it, is would fund at 96%. The village would put up 4%, would fund 96 a full-time economic development person for your village. Now that goes where I'm the economic development person for the village currently, but there is a program where this person would be a mentee. It would be an economic development mentor, but this person would be a full-time person with a set of responsibilities that the CDM and MEDC would pay for. So I'd like you to briefly take a look at this front and back handout, because I am going to ask you if this is something we should move forward with. I think it is. If there is, that 4% amounts to about $10,000. So you say, wait a minute, I could do math. If 4% is $10,000, how much would you pay? Pretty generous. It's a $60,000 a year salary. I'm sorry, let me not finish. $60,000 for 15 months, not for 4 years. 16,000 for 15 months, plus benefits. If you look on the back, you'll see that MEDC will provide $119,975 to the village in this position, and the village would have to put up $10,000. So I think this is a pretty good deal. Public art, marketing, bicycle infrastructure, many of the things that were mentioned in the NSU tourism study. We got pretty good scores in that study, so we also had some recommendations that could occur. And when I applied for this grant, I specifically talked about public art, I talked about bicycle infrastructure, and talked about marketing this village more statewide. Some people might say, Ariel's shut the heck up. We don't have marketing this village too much to what we're growing pretty fast right now. So this is an item discussion, and here's the deal. I have to give them an answer next week. And so this is something that would have to be voted on before next month's council meeting. And so, yeah, let me open this up, and any questions on front and the back are basically what they're saying would happen, what the village's responsibilities are, and what they would provide for us. I have a larger document. A lot of it is just fluff. It goes through timeline. We would look to hire this person over the next several months. CDM, the organization, statewide organization, would help us with that hiring process, and we would onboard the person to start in January, and then they would be here till 2026. Hoping to hire somebody local would be a preference, but we'll hire that person.
CDM, if you're not familiar with that, is a community economic development association in Michigan. And the nice thing about this opportunity, it not only has a system of us trying to find someone that can help us out for 50 months, but the space for all their training, all other training, their mileage, and so. The amount of money that's involved in that, don't think it's all one salary, it's dispersed in different categories. And my thoughts are, what a great opportunity, when you think of Village of Roscommon. A little under 1,000 people. We spend more money on the development than the whole Princeton County. But I think we can say we gained from that, there's some things happening and people are talking about the village society, so. They want, their goal is to get more young adults involved in economic development. And so they can use this for an incentive to someone to explore that. They don't need a college degree to do it, they just have to have an interest. And so there's a whole interviewing process that they're involved in, and that would be a good experience for any young adult just to go that alone. And so it's something that to me is a nice opportunity for us having during the year. And the way I see it is it costs the village $667 a month, right? And Ronald for 15. So that's not terribly expensive.
I don't know if it's in, I gave you or if I extended my out here. All the administrative, the payroll and so forth, that would go through this organization. Now, if it's persons with, obviously have, if they're not from here, they have to move here. Obviously, we prefer to hire somebody local, but it will be put out, we choose to do so, it will be advertised statewide. You know, obviously, as John said, we'd like to see reduce, without discriminating necessarily against, older people. And we, like I said, but, the idea here is that, all of our organizations, nonprofits, charitable organizations, Rotary Club, Lions Club, everybody's suffering from lack of youth participation. And I think this is a great opportunity to hire somebody, bring someone in, and really make it. But you haven't already made a great impact. But the question becomes: do we want to spend $10,000 to get a full-time economic development person to support some of these things that we haven't been able to prioritize?
Oh. Where do people come from? You gotta them with a good job that we can decide if they're going to be pool candidates.
No, we would work with them in advertising for this position statewide, but we would also. The idea is that we would hire the best candidate. We would have a hand in hiring. It's decision, not this organization. And yeah. Well, can we get somebody to move here for 15 months? I don't know.
Well, I could say, but Phil, I think we could benefit from this and that. Maybe give an outside item here.
But rest of the line.
No, something like Detroit or something. Like a base in,
I guess we'll have to see who applied, but I'm listening. I appreciate that. Any more comments from? Is that, what is the council with want to do with them? It's not on our agenda to vote for spending money, so do we want table, or do we just want to make a special movement and go forward with it?
I think the first question, I think you have a pool of money, I guess, we can hold them and sits off the side and contingency type money, so you're not working. Yeah. My opinion, if we can do it much alone, move forward with it, I think it's a positive opportunity for the village.
Is it possible to vote on something like this? Have time to.
Yeah, but
thing, I mean, if it's something that the council would want to look at reasonable, it's right, especially would take, you know, what, 10-15 minutes to vote on this big one-time thing. So,
It would have to be a person.
it had to be in person for a second one.
That person, okay.
Deadline, right?
Deadline is Monday, right?
Yeah, actually, I have to give her a preliminary, unbinding answer tomorrow, because I'm gonna move forward with some announcements and laws, they statewide announcements, but, we won't be locked into a $10,000 obligation, a week. So,
I noticed they got a quote from Comcast. Have you ever reached out to some of these people that have had this take place?
I haven't reached out to Casca, the in particular, the gal who organizes the program, I spoke to her. And, everything has been, you know, positive, and this is, this was an offshoot of that redevelopment, the RRC, and so only RRC to apply, and there was one for each region, for that region that I always point out, 2 fingers, region 3, I think it was, we were the winner for that entire region. And so if we don't accept it, probably whoever was in second place, would get. And, so it is $10,000, a lot of money, but we're gonna, you know, get somebody for 15 months and focus on, some areas that, we're just not the tourist.
We'll go for them to pay their salary.
And I apologize, this is last minute, but we interview found out awarded. And they contacted us Thursday. We're gonna make it, semi-public on Friday. Dr. Ron, it was too late to get into your agenda and, do it this way, so. I could ask, after 15 months, what do you do, lay the guy off, or? It'll be known from the beginning that it's a 15-month, thing, and so the person applying will know that they will be laid off, so to speak. Unless there is some sort of provision, to continue that in some capacity, that this point was not something we're asking to do. And all of the communities who have done this in the past, want to kill that person off. Right. So.
It's almost like an internship.
It's very much like an internship, though, but it doesn't necessarily have to be a college.
Yeah, it's just something that.
It wasn't going to be the difference. Just tonight. Or they're taking for this guy.
That was the question. Spoken policy said, yeah, the council might say, what do you? Right. And so, my answer to that is, I applied for this grant. I want this to happen. I know my own limitations, and as you have just very astutely, you know, talked about, maybe we need some outside perspective. We have, Russ, our intern, and he learned so much from Russ. He brought us an outside perspective. Maybe Russ is available. He's working on his senior year. I don't know. I haven't, you know, reached out to tell him that we actually got this yet, but he was inquiring. Yeah, I mean, the program does require that somebody enter this person. Like I do, but we can't fight it.
I'm just saying, this guy is going to be something.
As far as what responsibilities, I put in a grant that this person would be shared by the DEA, the planning commission, the recreational authority, and the so and we were finding plenty of work for that person.
So you're going so much bandwidth, so if there are other projects that come into the mix or ideas that come in, like light trails down. No,
Yeah, and I love that you use the word bandwidth because when I'm contracted at part time, I'm still working more than what I'm contracted at. And so there are things I have to turn away, and now we don't have to turn away.
How soon did this happen?
Very soon. We would hopefully accept within the next several days and start hiring in October.
Just one of the things, if you recall, when Rose was through the summer, he started to dig into historical buildings. and there's a lot of money in that area, there's a lot of work that needs to be done too, you know, in that. That could be a project that this person takes on. And, they've already identified the historical building, this building, but maybe what we can do to help, renovate them, so they're more attractive. But you know, it's, I don't know, I'm gonna try to like Jim, if someone has, pay $10,000 to, earn 120,000, you know, it's. The system, you know, I have confidence in because it's part of the RSA certification. And it's only available to the RSA certified communities and this is why we went to this, so it's funds for the.
Well, that projects that we're now, that this individual might be able to take on and free you up. Do their. Back for the staff.
We'd like to see, board approval, but I'm not inclined if the board is concerned, like the. I don't know why the board would see that, but, if I really outside of, the money, yeah, it's just full of positives and I would hope that the board would consider it, but, I'm also not gonna go home and buy it if they don't.
So if we decide, okay, let's go with this. Are we going to, how much money will we be out money if this person, if we don't get chosen?
We're already showing,
So we're good to go.
Yeah, so 10,000.
don't say yes.
Yeah, perfect.
The prizes are if you want.
We make a motion, do we accept that?
So, do we need a motion right now? I'll make a motion. I'll make a motion that we. How am I wording it, that we allow, him to pursue this?
Just, I guess the motion should be that we would accept this fellowship opportunity. Through CEDM, and that the, village would commit to the $10,000 commitment, for this position.
Would we get any of that money back? Other than, no, okay.
No, that's our match.
Oh, I see, okay.
That's not.
I'll make that, I'll make that, all right. I mean, at least I can do is make the motion, you can turn me down.
I got a motion, can I get a second?
I'll second the motion.
I got a second, first and a second, any more discussion?
I just have one other question. So one of the things is, to identify one local fellow supervisor, be a full-time staff person physically located in the same office. So would you then have to take on that full-time?
So, the plan is officially Ron's name will go on, but it will be my responsibility.
Oh.
Thanks for clarifying.
No, you'll be the mentor and you'll be full-time staff. Speak that correct. Okay.
So I got a first and second, any more discussion? Do we need to amend the approval of regular agenda added to the agenda, and then we get a legal? I don't know. I wanna make sure. We're doing this all right, so. Okay, I got a first second to approve of Mr. Perry Ellis to go ahead with the CEDM program, hiring a person for economic development for 15 months.
15 months.
At sum of 119,900.
Well,
Ours is 10,000.
ours is 10,000.
For a $10,000. Okay, we'll probably.
Schmeckle, yes. Rhoda, yes. Mitchell,
Yeah,
Folks, yes. Geneva,
yeah,
Keyhoe,
yes.
no.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Welcome.
Eventually, we don't have to, well, and you know what, that may not be a problem, sometimes, like on the days, they not only want to see the motion, but they want to see it on the agenda.
I'll bring my motion that we adjust the regular agenda to, the CM fellowship program and funding of $10,000. Okay.
I will second that.
I got a first and second to readjust the agenda to add the CM hiring. Roll call, please. Or any discussion, sorry, hey, we're just gonna be. No discussion, have roll call, please.
Miller,
Yes.
Fisher,
Yes.
Vivian,
Yes.
Keel,
Yes.
Ready, yes, Cook,
Yes.
Michelle.
Yes.
Okay. Anything else, Mr. Carrion?
That's it. Now I'll come back and see you in a couple more agenda items.
Any questions for Mr. Carrion? If not, thank you. Next item, Hiawatha Park update.
Hey, this excited, the tank from our last meeting, the oil tank was removed, there was no contaminants, no issues whatsoever. The asbestos was removed from the house, all prior to the house being, demoed. They're now cleaning up that peninsula, if you haven't had a chance to kind of go by the peninsula, it really gives it a whole different, in there. So what they're gonna do on the peninsula, they have to prep that, put in a cement pad. So they can put the gazebo on top of that, okay? In the parking lot area where the bathrooms are going to be, they need to dig down so many feet to take all of the muck. And so from the wetland, build up there and then refill it with solid soil. And so they'll be working on that for a while. And then but slowly you're gonna start seeing water lines drawn, electric lines moving, have things like that. So just excited that we now moving forward, and then that's what we're doing. So that's all I have on the Hiawatha.
Any questions for Hiawatha Park for Ron? Okay, if not, we'll move on to compost equipment trust.
At the last meeting, you granted me authorization to pursue a tractor for a compost site. Reason behind that tractor was Eagle is now monitoring compost sites, and we have to keep the compost site under 500 cubic yards inside. Our current compost site is like 402 cubic yards, so we're still under the radar. If we do go beyond that, now we gotta start doing monthly reports and things like that. That feels like, you can't avoid. The other nice thing about having a tractor down there is for our village and township residents. They come down and they need wood chips or they need compost. We can just pull in the back of the truck or whatever. You don't have to show them up by hand like they perfectly doing. I haven't looked at a few of them. I do need to just take some time to go out and go on site and then I'm one of those that run. So I want to get up there and you can look at so many pictures, but I want to see it face to face. So I have not had time to do that. Yeah, that's right.
Okay, any questions on the compost equipment tracking? If not, we'll move on to graffiti style art, Mr. Alden.
Okay, I had a chance to talk with Brian Graham, our village attorney, and he echoed what Mr. Edwards had said to us, that we need to be cautious on First Amendment rights. He says the things you can control color, you can control size, you can control, some of that. But when it comes to expression, there's a fine line there that you gotta be careful of. I have sent him, he wasn't aware of any policies like this in northern Michigan, I sent him one, and so he's reviewing that right now, but his feeling for, don't be in a hurry, go easy, I just make sure you look at it and you can see, and so, if one person do the garden, that person may not. You really have that thing to bad balance, but Ryan is gonna research this and to see if he can find any other such policies or ordinances that we could get kind of a copy of. So, I'll let you know if I find any more.
Okay, any questions? Tony?
I've been kind of doing my own research on this and a few other cities and towns are doing. But I found other cities that they have a public art policy, they call it, what they consider their criteria for public art on public buildings or public parks. And I couldn't really find any other ordinance prohibiting a certain style art. But I come across this article from it's on the American Bar Association website. And so this article is adapted from portions of chapter 4, government regulations of art and architecture, and local government land use, and the First Amendment, protecting free speech and expression. And so local government control of art arises frequently. For example, in regulations of murals, or the Columbus signage, and graffiti, I think. Was even mentioned graffiti. And it goes on and says, local government can regulate or control artwork in a number of ways. And private property art regulation frequently arises via zoning laws, sign regulations, and nuisance abatement. If there is, I'll send you this article later on. It's a pretty informative article, covers the First Amendment. It is kind of a slippery slope at the point. But it has been done.
Thank you, Tony, for your research on that. Thank you, Mr. Hall. Any other questions on Pete Sala? If not, we'll move on to Chase Bank update, Mr. Perales.
Yeah, with this brief. Sure we're on here. Chase Bank across the street, as most of you know, this is a development between a year in the making. And many of you may have seen on social media that the Coney Island, and the BC Pizza, the arcade are already close to ready to go for opening. However, run into some snags, which is kind of been the story of that building over the last several months. Is snag this, air conditioning that, water this, and electrical that. Now it's fire suppression. And so there's an issue with the fire suppression system that may delay. The thought was to get open in mid-September. I can't sit here and tell you if it's going to happen in mid-September or mid-December or next summer. And I don't know that the building owners could tell you that either. So it is the most recent bit of information is sound like between the architects and the building inspector, there will have to be a fire suppression system put in there, which could take 2 weeks. It could take 2 or 3 months. Anybody that was chomping at the bit to get a Coney Island, you have to wait a little bit longer. This does throw off the plans for the old Tin Fish Roscoe's Palms Cafe, because there's still a BC building there. And BC can't leave that building until they can get into this building. And so the longer this building delays, we may not see, if you've been excited for a new Tin Fish restaurant and bar, that may not happen until next summer now as well. So the ownership group refers to themselves as 701 Lake Street Holdings. 701 Lake Street Holdings The three gentlemen, have not necessarily made their name public, but we're about to make their name public. Because there's lots of reference of a certain village council member that wanted to know who they were. And so, the owners of 701 Lake Street Holdings, AKA Chase Bank, AKA the Village Vault, would be the name of that food court. And that is Corey Fung, Bob Jansen, and Brian Burns. And they're all three relatively local, and some more local than others. And all three of them have ties to Ross County. Any questions about Chase Bank?
Wasn't there something else a while back?
They were gonna call it the townhome spot. And I don't know the reason why they changed from the common spot. I think you like that. But they're going with the Village Vault based on the banks.
All still there?
No. And any council member, I have access to that building. If you'd like to see what's going on, I'll take you through this app.
Any other questions from us? Or the Jim, you're on.
It's just been a long time and I've never heard actually who owned it. That's.
I don't necessarily think they're hiding. I think it's something in a broadcasting.
Yeah.
area.
We were in with Brian Burns and Corey, that were pretty much on problems that we bought it and from day one, so I don't think they're hiding.
Ryan grew up in Rock County up till seventh grade, I believe, and then moved away. Todd Jansen, the local real estate broker. And Corey is a commercial developer. On the right. A little bit fun.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions for Mr. Ferriello?
Good.
Sounds good, sir, thank you. Next item will be new business. County Literacy Program. Emo Fitz, no.
Well, I'm not seeing Michelle Ewald or Nancy Smith. A year ago, you voted to award the County Literacy Program $2,000 and make that a line item in our budget, so we don't have to keep going with this hand. But what I asked Michelle and Nancy if they could by and give us an update on how many people this is serving and encouraging this serving stuff like this. I will try to reach out to them and see if I can get them one of our next meetings. They're really excited to do it, so I'm surprised they're not here.
Okay, can I get a motion to award Rock County Children's Literacy Program $2,000? What do you want to do?
It's a line.
Okay.
So we're gonna give you information.
Okay. Next item is RCL Construction State Application USDA for $61,832.55.
Okay, this is again that USDA grant, all grant money, no money from the village. It's the deal with wastewater improvements. A lot of this is when the new generator came in to run the pump station is they realized that the new generator is going to require a bigger service of natural gas line. And so they have to retrench that and make adjustments to that. The good news is the generator that we currently have there that we can rewire and use that in one of their stations. So we have there are two main stations also over the village. Will not see any limitation of water services. So this payout is to make one of the final payments. There's still going to be probably one more, I think, when this is all said and done. I'll entertain a motion to pay RCL.
Can I get a motion to pay RCL Construction for $61,832.55?
I'll make a motion.
Got a first, can I get a second? Got a first, second, any discussion? If not, roll call.
Yes. Miller.
Yes. Ready?
Yeah. Michelle.
Yeah.
Michael. Yes. Dana.
Yeah.
Tebow.
Yes.
Okay, the next item is archaeological study of industrial park for $5,000.
Okay, you may recall when we were going through the earlier stages of the Walk project, one of the things that we had, ecological study to make sure that soil was not any, sacred realm where artifacts and different things, are buried. So what we had to do is we had to bring our archaeological, we've been to drill 25 holes, so many people were sift through the sand, go into that, and then write up a report saying, this one is or is not, good to go forward, we're not, interrupting any state of ground. You may recall too, we had a joking with a guy that you're not finding anything, because the rate of delay for the high water project is running. You're not gonna find anything, if you do, I don't wanna know more, you don't have to. So he collect cases up on the phone. And like, oh, no, come on, don't tell me that, but the bone was so decayed and, they couldn't identify where the block was, I think. We're just keeping it right out of the report, let's go over here, so for this $3.5 million, grant that I'm applying for here for the industrial park, we have to do the same type of stuff. And so for the Hiawatha project, I want to say it was like 25 or 2,600 bucks is what we spent. I gave you a copy of one bid so far for $3,800. I guess I'd like to get authorization to see some more bids on that, and then to award that bid to the lowest bidder on that. I put $5,000 down there. We already have a bid for 3,800, so it's not going to be that much. That would be the most expense, 3,800.
Okay, can I get a motion to let Ron pursue finding a technology study firm for our industrial park project and to exceed $5,000?
I'll make that motion. That's a $5,000.
You got it first, I guess that can.
I'll second.
First, second, any discussion?
Is resin, how could we use one?
No,
No.
we use Heart Song. Downstate that they did a great job. They came up and went through it. They're done it in a short period of time. The one thing that they're very sensitive, and once snow hits the ground, they can't do it. And so they were very diligent on moving it up to right now. We're just over and get this taken care of. And they said the report might lag back up a little bit, but we'll at least get the ground done. So I've been to reach out to them and see what they're going to do.
Any more discussion on that? If not, roll call.
Ready? Yes. Regina.
Yes.
Mitchell.
Yes.
Cook. Yes. Tebow.
Yes.
Miller.
Yeah.
Michael. Yeah.
So there's recording sound quality, Mr. O.
Okay, I can apologize. Tony sent, I believe, a copy of concern about sound quality in this room here, and so I guess Tony on that turn back over and help us.
I stated my letter that if you ever want recorded YouTube videos, the sound quality and this is not good. It was good for a minute, and it might fade out, it might not work for the first thing, and all recorded. Things start to catch on a little bit, and we'll want to watch the YouTube videos and they can hear it, and that kind of thing. And then I talked to Anthony at the computer shop, and he said it could be as simple as just the way we're uploading. I'm not sure if we got any feedback from, we don't get here by people. I don't know how it sounds out do.
It's all good on Zoom. They have to be a real. What's the problem?
I can discuss, I'll take the finished. When I hit, stop on this recording, it gives me a Zoom MP4 file. And I then upload that directly to YouTube the next day. So I don't know the technicalities of it, lost fidelity there. But,
We had a spectator last month and they said they could barely hear anything. So that was on the video.
Or like the
On the
line.
live, yeah, they said it's very difficult to hear much of anything.
I just checked, there's nobody in right now, so that we couldn't worry about, but I'm not, the one time, the microphone that works for every single person, and we're down to whatever there, so whatever the board. However you want to address it.
I'd like to make a motion to hire plan a computer repair and expect and improve our sound quality of the recording.
Just mounted over my shoulder, yellow are quite a ways from the mics. Might want to just try a little closer to it. It won't cost anything.
Think from the letter though, from his letter, he didn't let Coleman, they couldn't get it right out. So I don't know about one. Didn't they say that, and just let Coleman put here?
It's not like we haven't tested it, I mean, we have tested it with people in other rooms, and it was working. I'm not saying that it's not doing what you're saying, it's been inconsistent. Sure.
You need to hire someone who knows what these computers and how and
Okay, I have a motion to hire a classic computer to do our technical work on our video. I have a first, second,
A little bit more second now.
we got a second first, and then. Okay. Got first, second, any more discussion?
I don't know if we wanna. Or want this given authorization to hire somebody, we don't have an idea on the expenses of what would it cost to do, well, I think we need to go into it. I don't disagree with that. But we need to know what kind of parameters are we looking for.
they're on this account. How are we gonna know? Like, how do we hire Paul? Like, I'm looking at that three.
Well, we can put out the same kind of. Whatever the process is for getting, bids on any other work, like when you did the. Air conditioning, for the heat.
Yeah.
Like maybe,
Right.
yeah, right,
We'll get a quote.
right, get a quote from.
At that point, with the motion, he decided to take it back that day with vote out. So. It's, I would say with vote that first.
Can I amend it to make get a quote to it that,
And your determination, yes, you can, that's what I'm trying to.
what would you amend it? Give a quote to extent the sound
So-
quality.
We're gonna allow the village manager to go get a quote for the upgrade of population improvement to be. There, at our conference room. Is that what you want to say?
Which one?
We're both from that specific person or you?
Just put it up for anybody who wants to do it, because there's different companies out there, nothing against Anthony. And does a great job. To be politically correct, we have to get very short, what's that by our opinion. So I'd like to do that, so if you guys are okay with that. Whoever made the motion second. We'll move forward with that. Okay, I got a first second to allow the village manager to get quotes for technical upgrades in our conference room. May I get a roll call message?
Tricia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
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 Next item is discussion item. Anything for discussion? Okay, if not, we'll move on to public and not 20 minutes per speaker. Vanessa, I think you wanted to say something?
If I may, please.
Yes, you may. Speaker.
I'm Vanessa Garner. I'm the Emergency Management Director for Aspen County. Now I've got 2 minutes. I'm gonna do my darndest to keep this short. I'm here to say, I've spoken to you all before and to leave everybody about emergency management, specifically the hazard mitigation plan, which is part of what I do. But emergency management is something that we don't really think about on a daily basis. We're trained from a very young age to know that police officers come and take care of us, firefighters come and take care of us in our time of need. Emergency managers are in the background of disasters on a very regular basis, and we don't think about that. In terms of emergency managers plan for emergency, we respond when they happen, and then we assist with that recovery process after that. So I'm going to give you an example of the Brook Fire. In that instance, I'm not sure how many of you recall, but we had to evacuate all the residents of the Brook River and Home Lake when that building caught on fire. And there's a picture of aerial fire truck at that location on your flyer that you guys have there. When those residents had to be evacuated, they had to be transferred offsite. I made the phone calls to get transportation for those residents. Right. I then also contacted the Red Cross to come and assist with meals because they didn't have food. Also bring toothbrushes, blankets, extra care items because it's not like everybody's grabbing their toothbrush as the flames are coming up around them. That's just a bit of what I do in a response situation. Okay. Now fast track to recovery part. I assist residents and also different townships who have adopted a hazard mitigation plan and getting funding for that recovery. So say you have underinsured residents and there's a tornado. If we qualify for Section 19 funding, I can assist in them getting funding to be able to rebuild. Okay. So my department is responsible for those things. I'm a department of one. Okay. My annual operating budget is $115,000. Okay. The Board of Commissioners has placed on the November ballot a operating millage. Okay. That is solely for my department. Because what happens is every year about this time, they start putting out our budgets. And they say, well, Vanessa, don't know if we're going to be able to fund you. I'm the first emergency manager in our county's history since the 1970s to be a full-time emergency manager. I didn't know what an emergency manager was until about 6 months before I took this job. Okay. Then it goes back to that. We know what firefighters are. We know what. So this millage is going to be a 0.1 mil. It's going to generate $177,937.88. Okay. With that other $63,000 that's going to be generated in the first year, I'm looking at doing starting with capital improvement projects that we talked about when I came in and talked about our hazard mitigation plan, those electronic signs, getting those emergency generators in. Okay. All of those things, you were just talking about grants and matching funds. I don't have a budget at $115,000 right now to be able to do matches. Okay, for any grants. I can write every grant in the world, but I don't have a match. So I'm here today to provide education about this millage because I strongly feel that if you don't understand what emergency management is, which many people in our community don't, can you vote yes or no for anything? So I think I probably went over my 2 minutes. I apologize. But again, I came here, I wanted to provide you guys with as much information as I could. If there's questions, I don't know if that's something that you can do a public comment here, but feel free to ask if that's allowed.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Any other comments or not? That's it. Thank you for that, Vanessa. Council comments. Oh.
I'd like to express my displeasure with the local post office. People, water bills and. I'd like to apologize to Tammy and some of the office staff, this started last summer, me not getting my water bill. I thought for sure it was an error at the office, I'm like, there's no way the post office doing. Nothing working in my mail. I'm just putting it together, and having, other people getting other people's water bills. And then only contact over the weekend, there's like these 3 water bills, and not one going it is. And I haven't got mine this month. So, so I'll give it a couple more days, and I'll try to contact Cam, and send me a copy. But it's getting old and.
Well, you get the roll back there. I mean, last one, we have like 4 of them back, so I think they won't.
Okay, anything else, Tony?
Well, that'll be it.
Okay, Lauren?
I just want to thank Jim and everybody else who was involved in that, the whole our RC program and getting the fellowship. It's exciting to me. It's excellent work. Thank you. Oh,
Mr. Official, well, for a couple of minutes. We're looking at the village, but the village extends out quite a ways and, east of here, this used to be, people tried to farm here, they came here to farm after the 1800s. Not. Well, there's one out there, near the old Kirkland campus, and the guy's got 4,000 apple trees. And it's, forbidden fruit apple orchard. Chip Roy is his name, and Farrell, they've got other things they're growing there, it's on the old Frank Richardson farm. And, the cider's out of this window. I grew up near the Muslim cannery and down near Gettysburg, and this stuff is really, really good. That's just one of the things. Now, on my way out there, that was, Labor Day weekend, on my way out there, I went by that zoo out there. Man, the parking lot was packed. I mean, there must have been 50 cars there. And that took a long time for them to build up to where they are. But there's a lot of things, the outskirts of the village that's reaping the benefits. So I just wanted to thank you. Thank you.
I just want to say thank you to the community that has come out for me. It's nice to see faces in the crowd. And I'm excited since I keep seeing all the progress Iowa is making. That's exciting. And thank you, Jim, for keeping us informed of everything going on.
Mrs. Clark.
So I'd like to add, some comments and feedback from outside of Roscommon. My aunt and uncle are here this because my son got married this past weekend. And, they're out here from rural portion of northern New York, where I grew up. And they love coming out here, and they love coming out. They've been up here before when I had our, like someone about Higgins and out in the village, and they've been here shopping before. If they love the atmosphere of the village, and it just kind of, it just reiterates kind of what that assessment said about this hallmark kind of a atmosphere. What the community does, when the community comes out, they participate in things. They saw pictures on our Facebook that we shared of the kids out playing. And where I grew up in rural America, was real on a dairy farm, small town, but we just didn't have this kind of stuff. We had county fair and vet 4-H kind of stuff, but not the events that the community supports here. And when they see that, they're just really impressed by what they see. They don't see it back home in New York. We went down, go down to Berrien Springs, and all down in that community, week every 4 days. We didn't see anything that was attractive of what we have here. So a great job by everybody, right? The community that supports it, to the businesses that promote it, and the village that authorizes certain things. So that's some feedback from outside of our village.
Okay, wow. Thank you for that, Kurt. I'd like to say congratulations to the new DPW director and our field director. Thank the public for coming out to our meeting. Without you, we couldn't do this and have a opinion on everything. Other than that, I don't have too much. So that'll be it for me. Item for next agenda.
Just to remind you, next month, it doesn't seem possible, I'm still thinking it's June and July. But we're looking at a budget. So I will be presenting a draft budget to you next month. And then what we will do is we'll take a look at that. And then we will have a group session and go through the numbers, go closer, and then we'll have that ready for you in November. We have a plan. Your sewer rate, we have some number for you there, what other claims you might charge, or what's if we need to make any changes to our policy. And then as Jim had promised, we'll send you a electronic copy of the master plan. And it shouldn't put you to sleep. I mean, you saw master plans and it's exciting. But we added enough pictures and stuff like that. But, so anyway, there's 9 chapters. Each chapter is on 8-10 pages long. Just kind of go through it. Definitely time, but I think you'll find it quite informative if you haven't we're still. All 3 big items will be on the agenda next month.
Also, family meeting for October, will be there.
Yes, you're right.
I need to remind you that.
No, they're fine.
A great meeting for everybody to come out and talk to everybody. That's about 45 minutes, I think. Good communication between everybody. I don't make no just so get talking about.
You're bad, so it'll be done. Yeah. Gary, we're more than happy to push that one home for the newbie. Well, on that now, see if I can get Michelle involved in dance for the child stuff and stuff, especially with the child literacy centers and what.
Anything else for the agenda? If not, then I think the motion.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
All in favor? Thank you guys all for coming to the meeting.
It's trying to